Greetings, Bowtie Guide 5 here. We are continuing on with our formal wear mini-series. We have already discussed the tuxedo, we've discussed colored dinner jackets. Now we're moving into the coup de grace of men's formal wear, and that is the white tie and tail ensemble. In this video we are only going to be discussing its origins and its place throughout history. In my next video, I'll be going into detail over all the pieces required for the white tie look. So, white tie and tails, you've probably seen this before. It's a very fancy look, but where exactly did it originate from? The answer to that question lies back in the following years of the French Revolution. So a lot of things changed during the French Revolution, culturally, artistically, and stylistically. So men of this era, they wanted to break away from the image of the pre-revolution. And at this time, they had been wearing these long, elaborate, decorated coats, all kinds of frills and embroidery and buttons, and they wanted to break away from that into something different. So they started adapting styles of the countrymen with these frocks and these long riding coats, but stylize it more to tailor their taste and their needs. Now, one man in particular, who I want to point out, who is kind of responsible for the overall aesthetic here, is a man by the name of Beau Brummel. He was kind of today, like you see celebrities like your Justin Timberlakes and your kind of A-list Hollywood stars who are kind of seen as like fashion icons or style icons. This was kind of how he would be the equivalent of early 1800s France. And he was very influential in this new style of dress making its way to the masses. So I am going to show off the white tie ensemble just a little bit to give some context. So as opposed to like the long coats that I mentioned before, the decorated coats, now we have where it's only long in back. You have the tails that kind of extend downward, and then in front it's cut at the waist, particularly around the navel. Now before you had coats, they were really almost like floor length down to like the ankle and all the way down. You even had some coats that were made to cross over. This is made to be worn open. Yeah, you'll see some buttons on here, but that's mostly decorative. The tailcoat is not made to fasten. It's made to be worn open and show off the midsection. And before this, you also had vests or waistcoats that were like full length. They would come all the way up, and they would even extend down into the kind of thigh area. Now you have the vest stops at the navel or the waistline. It's low cut. These low cut vests or waistcoats start becoming a big thing, and soon the white tie and tail ensemble becomes the epitome of men's formal wear. Of course, back in this time, there was more of a sense of occasion, so people dressed more often. So anything was kind of a formal occasion. If you were going to the opera, you were going to the symphony, you were going to the play, white tie and tails. Unlike today where people kind of wear whatever, and the level of formality varies based on one's own personal taste. This was also like dinner attire. We have what you call like the after 6 rule, where it's like evening attire, and this was as opposed to like day attire. You had morning dress, morning coats. You had different kind of styles for that. So then in the evening you would change into your evening dress, and it would consist of the components here, which I'm going to be discussing in my next video, all the intricate parts that go into this look. Now, this remains a pretty popular staple in men's fashion up until later into the 1800s, early 1900s, as I discussed in my first video, the history of the tuxedo, where the dinner jackets start coming into fruition. And now we have where we get into areas like formal, semi-formal. That's where that kind of comes about. This is like the epitome of formality, ultra luxe. And then you have the dinner jacket, which can be substituted for some so-so occasions. The tails really did kind of take a back seat to the dinner jacket for quite some time, and actually still to this day, because the dinner jacket, without having the tails in back, it's far less intrusive, so there's more availability, and you can get away with more kinds of activities in it than with the tails, which you have to be a little mindful of. Now, that's not to say that the tails have completely disappeared from existence or relevancy. They still have their place. You will see them a lot of times with formal nobility, any kind of weddings of like really higher up, high class or royal family. You'll see the dinner jacket look, correspondence dinners, and really like traditional kind of annual events. And sometimes you'll see it adorned different ways with like sashes and different things like that, but you still have the basic outline of the dinner jacket look. The Met Gala, that's one, although some celebrities like to style it different kind of ways based on the theme of the evening. That's still a time you're going to see that. There's a group I follow on Facebook, the White Tie Club. They hold annual events or biannual events where they'll go to like some hotel or somewhere like that, and they'll have the evening together, and everybody's in dress, and it's mostly to honor their purist. So they're honoring the ensemble. Everybody's wearing it a certain way, which is something again I'll be discussing in the next video when I go over all the details, because this is a very specific look, and this is not one of those like half-assed looks where like the tuxedo you can kind of put some different things with it. This has to be worn a certain way. You're expected to have a certain kind of shirt, certain kind of accessories, the fit and execution. It's seen as egregious or faux pas if you deviate from that in any way. So it's very important to kind of make sure you have that streamlined look. You can variate a little bit on quality for different kinds of things based on availability, but you're going to overall have the main kind of streamlined look. But I just wanted to come on here today, discuss the history with you guys, and just discuss the overall look briefly. I do hope you stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to be discussing all of the accessories associated with the white tie, and you would think I discussed accessories pretty heavily with the tuxedo, but it differs with the white tie and tails. There's some intricacies to it that I want to go over. But I hope you have found this video informative. As always, hit me up in the comment section, like and subscribe, and until next time.